So that was amazing, right? Yeah. We waited 30 years for this special, right? Yeah. Well, Walter and Barbara will be in here in just a moment, and I know you have a lot of amazing questions for them. So if you would, just line up at that mic right there. Awesome. And do me a favor, just one question per person. We want to get to everybody. So once they come in here, we'll get this started.
You get sprung when blocked up and the ones that fuck your stuff. Even the jeans she's wearing, I'm hooked and I can't stop staring. Oh, baby, I wanna get her check. Want me with that butt you got, ladies. He's not on it. That's whole skin. You say you wanna get in my bed.
Ladies and gentlemen, Walter Jones.
Got Barbara, she trying to
And welcome to the stage, the voice of Rita Repulsa, Barbara Goodson.
Oh, snap!
Are you ready for this?
We really do love each other.
Oh, snap!
Go Barbara! Go Barbara! Go Barbara! Go Barbara!
Y'all didn't know it was gonna be this kind of party, right? Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
Bless!
Did you see Power Rangers once and always?
Yes!
Did you like it? Did you enjoy it?
Loved it!
Y'all didn't like it. You didn't like it. Did you like it, really? Well, I'm super proud of what we did. Apparently, we're #3 on Netflix. #9 in the Philippines, and I think #5 in the Canada or something like that, which is crazy. It's everywhere, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. Can't believe it.
It's worldwide once again, so, and my first time back in 28 years. 28 years! I mean, I'm only 29, so... How did that work? You know, it's crazy. But I think me coming back 28 years later is definitely one way for you to understand when it's warping time, it's warping time. All day, every day.
Once a ranger,
Always a ranger. That's what it is. That's what it is. So, I guess we'll talk a little bit about our experience. I went to New Zealand and shot the movie, and it was exciting because it was the first time I was working with David Yost again after 28 years. It was a surreal experience because, you know, I got there. I think the first thing I saw is we had our meeting. We read the scripts, and we were like, the script kind of changed over time. David and I had a lot of input into what we were like. Okay, well, we wouldn't do that, or we would do things a different way, or I think Zach would do this, and Billy would. I think David would do this in this situation. So the script kind of changed, and over the time. But the first thing I saw was like all of the pictures all around the wall of all the different sets. So that was exciting. It was like, oh, okay, Snizzard, and then there's Rover Rita. I got to see pictures of what she's gonna look like. Not photos, real photos, but like drawings. So it was like, you know, my mind was like, okay, this is interesting. Oh, there's the Rat Bug, okay, and oh wow, there's the command center and there's the juice bar. I got to see all these scenes before I actually saw the actual sets. And
I didn't know that.
yeah. And so over the month that we were there, then we started filming, and I got to work with the stunt team. There was one guy that on the stunt team that I knew from 28 years ago. Because Koichi, well, that's not Koichi, but when they came from Japan, the stunt team came from Japan, I met them before I left the show. So there was one of them that was there, and he was running the whole thing. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. It's 28 years later, and you're running the team. And they were amazing. The stunt team was, you know, the guys that did the putties and did the Rangers, they were
He
awesome.
was still doing the stunts?
Yeah, he was
28 years later?
28 years later, right? So I'm like, that's pretty incredible. We got a big history.
Yeah.
Big history. And then we started shooting it, and that was pretty amazing to be working with David again after 28 years, and then working for the first time with Steve and Karen and Johnny and Catherine. You know, it was the first time that I got to see them and their characters, because I didn't really watch a lot of the other episodes.
Once you're out of it, you kind of move
Yeah.
on.
Now you did how many seasons of Rangers as Rita?
Well, I was Rita to begin with, but then I became Orbis and Sprocket and a lot of the bad guys. I was
Wow.
Mandy Locke and couple of other monsters. And putties, you know. There's a lot of putties.
I think I did a couple of putty voices too. And we go in the room and we do some putties.
They didn't do that so much in this one.
No, not that much.
wasn't
They-
Funny how after 30 years they still sound like angry turkeys.
Yeah, exactly. But it was pretty amazing. Just the filming of it. It was very surreal. I think one of the most emotional moments I had, and it was the scene where I'm talking to men. We're about to go to Trini's funeral, and to be sitting there looking at pictures of Tweet, my friend, and Trini, my fictional partner friend, the same person. Like the loss is real on both sides. It was very surreal. That was a rough day, and then the final wrap. On the last day that we were filming, they go, all right, that's a picture wrap for Walter Jones. Everybody's applauding, and you know, when I left the show 28 years ago, I didn't get that, so I didn't have any closure. So it was like finally there was some closure for that, because I didn't expect to leave the show 28 years ago. I just expected to negotiate the contract, come back, do the movie, do the show, and you know, be back in business. But that's not the way it worked out. So finally, I had, you know, a show wrap, and I cried. I teared up. I was like, I had tears going down my face. I was like, this is weird.
Really set you
It
going.
was. I listened to it. I was like, okay, Zach's having a moment. Barbara, what was your experience like?
Well, my experience was totally different because I do the voice, and when they called me back, I couldn't believe it. Because I still have questions that other people have questions. Didn't I become magic, you know, Mr. Mother? Okay. I don't have an answer for that question, if that's a question why she became Robo Rita. There's some people making some possibilities of what happened from that to her becoming, you know, this evil person again. But when I was approached, it was basically to do the voice, and I went through my agents, and I got to just do it in the studio with a patch, it's called a patch, to New Zealand, where they directed me on, you know, over the Zoomy. We didn't see each other, actually. Wow. There were two producers from Hasbro there in the studio, but the guys or the people, I guess it was a group, were in New Zealand while I was reading the script in California. And I started it as Rita from the past, which was a little more goofy Rita, kind of sillier, and they said, no, this is going to be different. We're going for the real, she's edgier now. She's going to be you know, Rita, not Rita light, you know.
She said kill. I was like, she said kill?
Yeah, she said kill. I mean, so I said, okay, so we're darkening up the attitude. So I was directed to get not as sweet as Rita used to be. Because we all know she was so sweet.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a lot of screaming for me to do, and I said, let's put the screaming at the end, so that at least I get the script out, I get the dialogue out, and if my voice just can't hold up, at least we'll, you know, have dialogue. And it held up. I just took some breaks. I took some water breaks and some just, cough dropped her brakes and had to do a little bit of just let the chords rest a little so that I could bring in that guttural, lovely voice that we all know so well.
She is amazing, right? Give it up for Barbara, y'all.
We love you!
When we did the show, the actual show, we had one of the guys from New Zealand reading the script, and he didn't sound like you at all. And so when I first got to see it and I heard your voice, I was like, oh, now we're there. Now it's real. Like that moment for me was like, ooh, Rita's back. Okay, it was wild. So I'm sure you guys have questions. Let's see what you got.
First off, how you guys doing? Thank y'all for being here today.
Happy to be here, bro. Thank you.
So, honestly, I understand there's only one question per person, and I thought of two, but I can't decide, so I guess I'm just going to rip the bandage off. So, I guess one question I definitely want to ask, so in the special, if it's always been Min and Trini throughout the year, then what happened to Min's father? Like, did y'all ever talk about what ever happened to the father?
That is a good question, and I've been looking for the brother. When I find him, I got some words for him. I'm like, where you at? Now, there's no mention in the script about who Min's father is, but I believe that this is possibly the beginning of many other stories. So I'm sure at some point maybe things will be clarified. But you can't put it all in one thing. So
Good question.
good question.
Thank you.
If you want a second question, maybe you go back to the back of the room.
All right, then.
All right.
Have you guys played any of the video games, like on Super Nintendo back in the 90s?
You know what? I did play a little bit. I didn't play a lot. At that point, we were really busy on the show. So we were working like 15, 16 hours a day sometimes, which is crazy because there's not that many hours in a day. We would, I would get up at like 5:30 in the morning to be on the set at 6:30, go through makeup and hair, start shooting. Sometimes we went late, and I didn't get home till 10 p.m. I'd study my script for the next day, so I didn't always have an opportunity to play the games that were out. Plus, they didn't give them to us, so we didn't have them. I would have had to go buy one, and that was kind of crazy. But and I didn't even have the chance to watch all the episodes that I was in. But I did get to play it after the fact, and I understand Zach had that nice little string where the power axe and spinning and the hip hop keto is kind of fun. So that was cool. I did play some of those. I've been playing. I played Battle for the Grid. Is that what it's called? Yeah, that was pretty good. I haven't played it lately, but I understand it's gotten even bigger. I got to check it out. Yeah. So now I know when I first played it, it was only the Black Ranger. What is it? What do you call him? The Century Ranger. Century Black Ranger. Yeah, with the dropping the mines and all that thing. That was kind of cool though.
And the last game I played was Pac-Man.
What's your name, man?
Dean.
Alright, so when you come up, say your name, guys.
Question for Barbara. My friend Dean Talks wants to know, any advice for destroying the Rangers?
Just don't leave. Just continue to come back. Just come back. Just write me back. Let's try again. Hit it first.
That was awesome.
So my name's Joan O'Hara, and I kind of got a question for both of you guys. When you guys first found out you guys were getting these roles, were you stoked, or were you just kind of like, oh God, I'm going to be a Power Ranger?
You mean in the very beginning, or you mean like for the Power Rangers Once and Always?
For the return. Like when you guys were able to revive the role, were you like super excited again to do it? Because I know it's a part of your childhood especially, being able to see yourself being like, hey, that's what started your career. I'm assuming. I
was very excited. I left the show 28 years ago, not meaning to leave the show, and I haven't been back. I mean, I watched everybody else go back. David had been on the show for longer. I think he did 200 episodes. I did like 85, so they continue on with the series, and changed costumes and, became more important. Their hearts got bigger. They, the whole thing. They did the movie. My biggest regret was that I hadn't done that movie because we earned it. It's like the show went from nothing to what it was, and then they were going to be doing a movie, and there was the potential it was going to be 3 movies. It was like all this stuff. It was amazing. They got their hands and their feet and the Hollywood stars are like in the cement. Like that was mine. That was supposed to be me, and it wasn't all of a sudden. So to now go back and to watch over the years, be like, it's almost been 30 years, and although Zach is still beloved, he's no longer as relevant as the original Black Ranger. You know what I'm saying? So I was happy to go back and be like, yeah, the OG's back. I started it here we are 30 years later, I still got it, and you know what I'm saying? There it is. So I was really happy to go back and reprise my role. I was really happy to go back and work with everybody else again, and even more for me is for you guys. And like, you guys have been, it's been 30 years, I've been doing these Comic-Con maybe 14 years, and fans are always like, wait, are you gonna go back? And the problem has been, the show wasn't union, but finally, they came back and said, it's gonna be union, and I was like, yes, I'm there, let's go. So I was super excited to go back, and who knows, maybe we'll do more.
Thank you.
Hey there, guys. My name's Britton. I just wanted to ask, Walter, you may know this, may not. Was Charlie or Min doing her own stunts? Because I noticed that, like, you guys have stunt doubles, obviously, like you took pictures with them and all of that. I wasn't sure about her. I just wondered if that was actually her.
I think, in general, because it's important to have the actors on set when they need to be on set. In general, they would usually put stunt guys in the suits, and they do B camera. They do like, while the actors are on set doing their lines and so forth and so on, they're off somewhere else doing it without lines, and then we would add lines over their action. So yeah, she did her own stunts that you saw with like the Cali sticks and the bites. That was obvious. Anything you saw that was her. But if it was in the suit, it was probably a stunt person.
Thank you very much.
My name's Richard.
What's up, Richard?
I was curious, Walter, if did you know about the plot line to honor Tweed before you signed on? And if so, did that play a part in your decision to make your return this special?
I did, and I was thrilled about that because I felt like it's been too many years that she didn't get her flowers. So it's finally a time for us to pay homage to her and her contribution to what Power Rangers was. I think at the time that she passed away, you guys were so young, and it's kind of hard to go to the kids and present that her death, to you guys as something that's palatable. So I think now you guys are much older. You realize that she passed away, and it's a perfect time for everybody to be able to say, all right, we loved her, we're saying goodbye, but to also welcome somebody else to carry on the tradition.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello, my name's Colin. So we got
What up, Colin?
Hey, so I have a question for you, Walter. So whenever you read the script and you kind of saw what Zach's life kind of became, I just want to know, what did you feel about that? I saw that he went on to have like a political career, and I mentioned earlier how I was absolutely obsessed with you as a kid. I'm still obsessed with you. You are my Black Ranger, so I know what everybody's whatnot. So, but did that make you feel happy? Or did that make you feel happy? I guess it's like being like a representative or something that you still resemble outside of like, like being a hero and a superhero at the same time, basically?
I think I think the best way for me to answer that question is it was cool. It was alright. It was like, okay, he's a congressman, so he's still giving service to people. He's still like out there trying to make the world a better place in his own way, politically, using like his knowledge and his vocal ability to be a leader. But I got to say, I like Boom Comics' idea better. I like the fact that with the Omega Rangers, we are this elite force of Rangers who went off and started saving other Rangers intergalactically. And that sounds like something Zach would do, you know, because it's like, the peace treaty was cool. I probably wasn't gonna stay there long because, you know, it's like, all right, like it's time to be recruited for something new. But I was happy with that, you know, as a congressman. It's easier to retire from being a congressman and take care of a young lady than it is to retire from being an intergalactic ranger, like bouncing around from, you know, to, you know, different dimensions. So I guess it worked out for the story.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How you guys doing?
What's up, man?
I'm Owen.
Owen.
I have a question. What's the question both people can answer? The overarching theme of Once a Ranger was mourning. And I wanted to see kind of, we don't really, mourning normally is more of a depressed type of feeling that we have, but all the Rangers had different type of ways of dealing with it. Zach was more grounded. Even Rita had her whole comeback of just kind of like all right, I'm pissed. Kind of, how did you feel like the script kind of addressed mourning within for each Ranger, and how did that impact you guys through this process?
It's a great question.
Well, I'd say that for Rita, you know, she knew that she didn't get what she was planning to get her whole life, and it wasn't about mourning for her. It's about her own hurt. She's a hurt, wounded puppy, you know, clearly. And she just needed to keep her dream alive. That's her whole life is about that, and it'll never be anything else. So she just got darker and darker in that attitude of, you know, I'm going to make it happen this time, and I'm going to get my face back, and I'm going to be meaner than ever, and in a way it's more grown up, because now the Rangers are more grown up because they're going through a mourning period. So they're coming together more in an adult way, which was, I like that. I kind of like that arc.
The one thing that in my personal life that I've grown to accept is that everything that begins ends, and that's just a fact. And so I think within that show we dealt with mourning, but we also dealt with nurturing and growth. You know, so it was about something that ended and then finding a way to grow into something new. You know, and which is a great story because, you know, like, you know, every year the leaves fall off, the trees kind of like go to nothing, and then every spring they bloom, and it's a beautiful time. Each part of the process of summer, spring, fall, and winter is beautiful in its own way. So I think we kind of had that within the story.
Appreciate it.
I'm Swade, and let me start by saying it's awesome seeing you in North Carolina for the first time. I mean, y'all were my childhood as much as many of us. And my question, well, it was partially already answered because it regarding Zach's character development, but we try to ask this in a more general way. Like, a lot of recent like Power Ranger specials, like team ups and stuff, involving older Rangers. I don't feel they usually don't. Not many Rangers of the past usually got like that much real on-screen like development. Like sometimes it looks like they're there. Well, I know Tommy back when back in Beast Morphers, he got plenty of development, and you know, Cat in this special kind of carried on with, you know, JJ and mentioning all that. But even if I freeze up a moment here, I'm trying to get the first thing. I think my general question would be like, you know, how does it feel in general, like, have like all these, you know, not just like yourself, but like all like those, like the fellow characters, you know, they got more. I felt like they got a little bit more development this go around. Like, you know, Rocky, you see, he was somewhat of a firefighter, I believe. So that's what this would look like. And you got like Adam and Aisha, they're part of this SPA thing, which I assume is associated with.
Yeah.
But
Be mindful.
it just
Be mindful of what you're doing.
were y'all like content with all that development being put in, or like maybe could something more to be done there?
You know what? The way I feel about it is I feel like you know, when doing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, there was 5 of us, then there were 6 of us, and we all had different stories to tell. Zach's birthday was about Zach's birthday. Although I wasn't in the script a lot until like the end, you know, like basically them running and hiding from me, or the most part of the episode. And in the end, I had a party. It was the first script that was about my character, and everybody had a chance to be, you know, to have their character develop with different stories, and in this particular movie, I think we were able to develop the characters in a way that was sufficient to everybody. I mean, I personally wish that all of us had been in it together, but I am happy that what we ended up with is also super special.
I agree. I agree with that sentiment there. It just really did touch base. Walter and I seen much the old school characters, even though not everybody got to be involved, it's nice.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was there, but not there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I mean, we're all like in the story together. But
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great to finally meet you guys. I'm Jesse.
What's up, Jesse?
30 years in the making, because I watched like the first episode on the first day. I remember because it was my sister's birthday, because it was August 28th. But for both of you, it's a question for each of you guys. Do you have like a favorite scene or line you did from the special that something just stuck with you that you really thought was really interesting, or funny, or cool, or, you know, like what is?
You know what? I loved it. I love coming back to the juice bar and that frustration of the whistle. Like, yo, hey, messing with this place was a big mistake.
I like that.
I love that line right there, because it's like, all right, y'all done pissed off Zach this time. It's like, you messing with the juice bar? Come on, man. Like, this is my old underground. It's like, you know, I met Angela in here, you know? So,
hell yeah, she was so mean to you too.
Right? So I love that line, and of course, you know, when I got to step forward and say it was morphin' time, that's always a favorite thing, because it's like, that's that leadership role. Here we go.
I think I like being able to say, make my monster grow.
Yeah, it's always cool to hear.
Yeah, and just the line about I have a new body or something. What was it? Yeah,
that sticks in my brain.
Yeah, that's in the trailer. It's a nice, you know, famous line now. You know.
Yeah.
It'll continue.
Thank y'all.
I love it. She killed it, y'all. I'm just saying.
Hi guys, long time fan. I've been watching you guys since, I don't know, 1995, I guess, right? 1995?
1993.
1993, right.
30
So,
years.
my name is Eric. My question is, being that we're all adults now, we're all grown-ups for the most part, right? In 43, but you know, I'm counting. But are you planning to do any sort of adult-oriented, more mature subject matter, like Power Rangers with an edge, kind of?
Well, I believe this is heading. I think this is kind of like heading in that direction. Not completely, not like the rated R version that came out, you know, before, but definitely something that, I mean, I think what's been shown is this is definitely, although it's not like the gritty, dark, you know, Power Rangers, is still something that you can sink your teeth into and like go, all right, I see the development of this being, it's not just a kid show anymore. Now it's a little more, there's a more jeopardy, and I believe there's more stories to be told that, you know, will allow more opportunity for that. Yeah. It's a good concept, so.
Cool. So Boom Studios maybe might develop something, maybe, or?
I can't speak for Boom, but I would just say I believe the future is going to be interesting.
Cool. Thank you so much. Keep doing the good work, guys. Appreciate it.
Hi there. My name is Keller, and I wanted to ask, like, is it kind of difficult to get back into character after it's been all these years, like not being Rita and Zach?
Not for me, no. She's like in the wheelhouse, they say, you know. She's just like, she just lives there and shows up when she's needed, you know.
Yeah, I have to say the same. I mean, like, the reality is, after the show came out, there were probably about 4 or 5 years of being very famous with Zach. And it was like everywhere I went was like, oh, you're Zach. Oh my God, hey Zach. It was like, for a minute I wore a hat and glasses. I was like, this is too much, it's crazy. Like, I remember being at a restaurant with my girlfriend, and I was, eating my steaks, and somebody came up and said, excuse me, can I get an autograph? And I'm like, can I finish eating my steak? Like, eating a steak right now, like, okay. And they stood there and waited in line. And then 15 people got behind them, and there was a whole line in the restaurant waiting for me to finish eating my steak. This is strange. That was like, this is what Michael Jackson feels like, right? So there was a point where that was in my life, and then it chilled out. It was like, after that I was like, every day maybe 3 people were like, yo, what's up? Hey, I grew up with you, and that's fine. That's like, I can handle that. I'm sorry, I lost where I was going. What was the question?
Is it hard for you to get back?
Oh, is it hard to get? No. So what I was saying is, so Zach has always been in my life. You know what I mean? Like, and this is Zach 30 years later. So I am a father. I have a 19-year-old boy and a 15-year-old daughter. So being the guardian of men was easy. My relationship with David is 30 years growing. So it's like, me and David are kind of like Billy and Zach, under different circumstances, but it was already easy to have a relationship with him, and to be like, we're both grown men now, but we're in this grown person situation. It was fairly easy to come back to the character. I guess that's what I want to say.
Thank you. You two are like my childhood. So
Yes.
How old are you?
14.
Wow, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we are actually out of time. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was 45. Oh, I got you. Okay. Well, guys, I'm sorry. Do we have 3 more minutes, or? Okay. Guys, I'm so sorry. We'll do speed questions, speed round. Go.
Okay, I didn't introduce myself the first time, so I already met you up front, but for everyone else, my name is Mike Stone from Raleigh, and also in Newburgh, North Carolina. Anyway, so my second question I want to know is like, so since all the Power Rangers stuff, all this started the day Rita was first released from that space dumpster, and y'all ever imagine how different life could have been if Rita was never released from that dumpster?
Boring.
Yeah, boring, because I speak to for everyone else, that you guys are my childhood, like watching the show, taught me so much, and I'm just almost as old as the Power Rangers.
Thank you, brother. We're going to try to get to the next question, okay?
Right, sorry.
Thank you.
So.
Hi, my name's Dominic. I gotta know, how did it feel hearing that first, it's morphin' time? How did it feel though?
Powerful, bro. I was like, it's morphin' time. Let's go. Ooh. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ricky, longtime fan. I was just wondering, what is y'all's favorite monster from the original series, one time only?
Lord's End.
No, the one only.
Oh, once and only.
Only showed up for one episode only.
For one episode only?
Yeah.
A monster that showed up for one episode only?
Yeah,
Monster of the Week.
Yeah, the monster.
Monster of the Week. Okay. Monster of the Week. Oh, I got it.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Jason. It's so great to meet you. I love your Power Ranger movie on Netflix. I just watched it on Wednesday. You're such a great actor.
What's your question?
So in Power Rangers the movie, how come did you guys make Rita a robot? Because I didn't understand that.
We don't know the answer to that. That has to be found out.
Yes.
You have to tell us. If they didn't write that in, they didn't tell us.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Julian. Quick question.
Yes.
You guys ever buy your own figures? Do you collect yourselves, I guess?
No.
No.
Next.
Last one?
Yes, you are.
Cool. Hi, I'm Will. I just wanted to ask, how does it feel seeing yourselves adapted in other media like comic books, the 2017 movies, how that, especially as an actor, it's like, oh, that was like me, but it's not me.
They read it different.
Yeah, okay. Bizarre sometimes and wrong sometimes, but mostly okay.
There's that. It's also amazing. The first time I saw myself in the comic book with Superman, who's my favorite superhero, I was like, Zach's talking to Superman. It's awesome.
Thank you.
If you haven't seen me, if you haven't met me, come on by the table. We'd love to meet you. All right?
Same here.